About teaching pedagogy. It is my 800 words reflective essay on the points generated from the class discussion. It was written on 15th of July 2019. Critical pedagogy or critical pedagogy. It's a term coined by Henry Giroux. For me, it is to be inquisitive about the existing ways or methodologies of student-teacher learning and the educational system. It is art and science of teaching, and it varies from person to person. Thinking leads to doing, doing leads to experience, experience leads to learning, learning leads to reflecting, reflecting leads to rethinking. Learning to think is a habit of mind, one may say. It also comes under the big umbrella of communication, which holds function and aesthetics in subcategories. Pedagogy may also be incorporated in listening, which means ideas coming from the students and the teacher absorbs them. Knowledge comes in the form of information. It is up to us what we convert into knowledge, which retain in our minds for longer period of time, and in which information which to discard. It's up to us, it's our choice. On the contrary, information is bombarded to us in the 21st century through our television screens, mobile phones, and internet. Now, to access the student on knowledge, we design assessment criteria rubrics for our students, which then can be categorized in practical, theory, and class participation. Rubrics can be used with many different tasks, focusing the students on the knowledge and skills they are developing over time. In some institutions' curriculum, Beacon House National University per se, it is advised to teachers to share the rubrics with students at the beginning of an assignment to help them plan and monitor their own work. Curriculum design is also a very vital part of education system, and different pedagogies can be applied to improve. Framework, course, outline, and emergent curriculum are subcategories. Emergent curriculum is what most fascinates me, because when the teacher is occupied with students' ideas, the teacher will observe the student and plan their learning according to their interest. Teachers will guide the student on experimenting to search for the answers. At this point, for instance, in our government schools, if a student suggests to teacher what he wants to draw today or feel like drawing, he will be snubbed. One cannot question the teacher. That's what old school teaching is all about. Right at that moment, radically yet realistically, John Wink's theory that pedagogy invites us to question and understand the relationship between power and knowledge is very accurate in today's time and age, where establishment wants to design a certain curriculum regardless of the needs and requirements of the students. Rather than making a democratic environment where teacher unlearns and learns from the students, vice versa, teachers are forced to deliver mere words and spend 2 hours just to obey the senior management and observe it as a duty. What role does critical pedagogy plays in teaching art? It is imperative to know for a teacher that there is no right or wrong in making art. One should not be so harsh to appreciate one student and snub the other based on personal interest in students' works. John Bellacino says art begins when a child starts to skim stones on calm surfaces of water bodies and relishes the formation of patterns. There is a very subtle point to understand here. Parents are the first school of a child. For example, if parents stop the child and insult his or her abilities from the beginning, no teacher in the world can make such student pursue art. For parents, you are the sculptors of your children's mind or brain. You sculpt the brain. Whatever you feed in there, whatever you program in there, is going to be there forever. So be careful of whatever word you utter from your mouth till whatever action you take in their lives. Although the child was already an artist and still is, however, the parents demolished the sand castle way before their child was just thinking in the imagination. Parents should support and realize if a child's curiosity is trying to communicate, they need to feed it with answers so the child's artistic ability widens. Critical pedagogy does not approve such school of thought or oppression of any kind in school and in parenthood. Critical pedagogy allows free play, freedom of expression. In my opinion, teachers' ability of teaching can be measured not by grades of the students, but through coherence of the work teacher demands from the students. One of the most perennial questions in teaching critical pedagogy is, can art be taught? Alternatively, why there is a need for a teacher in order to learn art? Joseph Featherstone, a professor at Michigan State University, a well-known teacher, educator, essayist, and former school principal, in his letter named Letter to a Young Teacher in 1995 written, describes the need for political understanding and commitment required as a teacher. He says, this is an old idea, which I completely agree, that education is above politics, which becomes useful for school from being politicized. In any case, even today, this is happening. Name one institution where education is taught or delivered to students for the sake of education. None, because universities and art schools are just money-making factories and they create inequality in the society. A privately run institution called TCF, the Citizen Foundation, is offering quality education at minimal price. However, personally, when I interacted with the teachers there, I happen to know the exact quality of their education being taught there, because the art teacher there was a BA in English. Government vocational training institutes have political agendas attached to them on another level. So, at the TCF, when I talked to an art teacher, he was BA in English, but he was teaching art. Getting an education is a basic human right, whereas it has become a business. Education is being sold, and when something sells in the market through different vendors, the quality decreases and is of no use. In my country, Pakistan, students get their MBA or PhD to get a job which makes them food secure. They have the responsibility of a complete 5 to 6 family members. Sir Muttaqi Arman Malik, MSc in Higher Education, University of Oxford, once told us in research methodology class that students in Britain, they get hired after their A levels, and whoever pursue higher education, they do it for the personal interest. I think that interest for higher education will not be developed in Pakistani students. When they know their family do not have food to eat for dinner, food is the state's responsibility, but here it's not like that. Featherstone states that a teacher is someone who cultivates culture within a student. In my opinion, I think students gradually learn about culture on their own through modes of nature, environment, internet, and other people in the world. Teacher is not equipped enough, I guess, to bring world's culture into a classroom, because teacher always has an eye on a brighter student, and he just tries to put whatever he has in that one particular student. He doesn't care about the the student who gets the bad grades or is not good performing. He doesn't care. The teacher doesn't care about that student. John Dewey, not necessarily though. John Dewey in 1859 to 1952 believed that learning was active and schooling unnecessarily long and restrictive. His idea was that children came to school to do things and live in a community which gave them real guided experiences which fostered their capacity to contribute to society. The discipline that lasts comes from class participation, and it is possible through freedom. Unlike our government schools, I respond to this letter as it is meant for me, being an MA art education student. Featherstone says that throughout generations, mindful teachers have fought the struggle of educational development. Now it is my turn to join in and make the difference.